Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Connor Green here with the No BS Group in Tampa Bay. And there's a concept that's going around that the Florida housing market is deceased. Kind of an interesting word to use for it, but it's something that people have been talking about in terms of characterizing the state of the market right now and where it's headed. So I want to give a deep dive into the forces affecting things, the pros, the cons, how it's affecting buyers and sellers right now. So if that's interesting to you, stick around until the end. And as always, if you find this information helpful, if you find these videos useful, smash that like button, make sure to hit subscribe, and make sure to reach out to me if you have any other real estate questions, because myself and my team would love the opportunity to earn your trust in business. So let's break down the housing market and the forces that are currently at play right now. Many people focus on short-term factors like rising interest rates, COVID, or inflation, but the truth is the housing market issues go deeper than that. The challenges we face today aren't just a result of the pandemic or inflation. They're symptoms of a market that's been sick for quite some time. To understand how we got here, we have to go back to the Great Recession in 2008. Most of us remember how that crisis crashed the housing market, but the long-term effects were even more damaging. Builders nearly stopped building, going from over 2 million homes constructed annually to around 600,000. Here in Florida, and especially in the Tampa area, this also had a massive impact on the supply of homes. Locally, we had a huge boom in new construction between 2003 and 2006. Demand was at an all-time high, with many homes being bought up by investors looking to flip properties for a quick profit. But by mid-2006, before the full onset of the Great Recession, this demand took a nosedive. Builders began scaling back on projects, and by the time 2012 rolled around, new construction was practically non-existent here in Tampa Bay. For nearly a decade, from 2007 to 2015, we were severely underbuilding in this region. When builders finally ramped things up again, they were met with a wave of demand that they simply couldn't keep up with. Millennials were entering the market in large numbers, looking to buy or rent, but there just wasn't enough inventory. Another major factor that compounded the issue was the change in lending regulations after the Great Recession. Before 2008, getting a home loan was ridiculously easy. Way too easy, frankly. But by 2012, banks had tightened their requirements significantly. Many potential buyers who were ready to enter the market couldn't qualify for loans until they built up stronger financial portfolios. So when the market started recovering in the late 2010s, this pent-up demand surged, but there simply weren't enough homes to go around. Fast forward to the start of 2020, and the housing market was already in a precarious spot, and then we had, what happened? Builders were trying to dig their way out of a supply hole, but then COVID hit, throwing everything into chaos. With rising material costs, labor shortages, and a massive influx of new residents moving to Florida, prices skyrocketed. Today we're left with high prices, still lower than average inventory, and just an overall demand that's really not being met with the variety of inventory that's on the market. And this isn't something that developed overnight. It's a result of more than a decade of underbuilding combined with increasing demand. So what's the solution to this affordability crisis? Unfortunately, there's not a quick fix to it. There has obviously been a lot of development outside of the city areas. For example, if you go north of Tampa, they're building loads and loads of communities now. Or if you're in downtown St. Pete, they're building huge high-rises to further satiate that demand and provide people with different options. But for someone looking for just a general single family in a well-located area, we still are a little short on supply right now. And all of the national forces at play, like increased inflation that we've seen that has risen the prices of everything going around, the local forces have just compounded on that. The macro forces have obviously raised prices pretty much around the country in a lot of places, not just Florida. But the local forces here have really compounded that, especially because a lot of people wanted to move here. I personally think we need to build some more affordable housing here in the Tampa Bay area, which is easier said than done because it's hard to find affordable lots to even build the affordable home to start off with. But it is being done slowly. The problem is that most builders are obviously looking to make the most money possible, which just like anyone, they're in business. And so there's not as much of the affordable housing that's being built. So I think there's an opportunity there for families to have those nice starter homes, but not have to pay $1 million. And while the Tampa Bay area has been on a crazy journey over the past 10 years, and more specifically over the last 4 years, the one thing we have to admit is that the city is really still in its infancy, whether it's St. Pete or Tampa. And this region is going to continue to grow. So for other cities where you can see that they're further down the timeline, you can see how those are less affordable than the Tampa Bay area is right now. So while we do need some more short-term solutions in terms of affordable housing supply, I think there's also something to be said too for people who do want to live here to claim that stake in the ground while you still can afford something, because we sure do have a really good quality of life here. Now, I know this is a very complex issue and there is not a very straightforward solution, nor is one the right answer. There's a lot of different angles to look at this. So I'm very interested to hear your comments below. Let me know what you think about the housing and affordability status of Tampa Bay and what you think the solution would be if you were the mayor of, let's say, the entire region, even though there's multiple cities. And as always, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in the Tampa Bay area, myself and my team, the No BS Group, would love the opportunity to earn your trust in business. If you like this clip and want to watch another one, go ahead and click here. And if you want to make my day, smash that like button, drop a comment below, let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on the next video we drop.